Brandon. This is Brian. Here we are for another episode of the Workshop Review. And this month we are featuring the Starbond CA glue and activator.
To start things off here, we're going to glue these two pieces of wood together, and we're going to let it sit until the end of the review. And then we're going to try to break it, just to see how strong this stuff is. So what do you say we just get that glued together on camera here, and then we'll come back to it later?
Absolutely. That's what we're going to get going on. In addition to getting this particular set glued together, we are going to do a couple of tests with filling voids and show you the various views that it will have in a couple of different types of wood. We have an ash, a sycamore, and cherry sitting here with a nice big knot in it. As well as we cut a hole and attempted to get a glass-like finish in the hole, though it proved to be a little bit challenging to get it, but just so you could see how incredibly clear it was. And we'll go ahead and zoom in on that, and you can see it here. Alright, so there we go. Let's join the board together.
Good. Alright, so I'm going to glue these together using the medium viscosity formula. I've been using this stuff in my shop for probably close to a year now, and this is what I've found it to work best in my shop, so for gluing boards together anyways. So we're going to go with the medium here.
So in addition to the medium, it comes in, they have a variety of thicknesses and colors. You can have a thin, you have a thick, black and brown, as well as clear, and they have a white. And what Brian was just spraying there was the accelerator, which is super handy to accelerate the process and the bond of the CA glue. What Brian has done before was he would put the CA glue on one side and the activator on the other. That is one way of doing it, though you could also just spray it directly to it. And it definitely, as you saw, it definitely speeds up the process.
So at the end of this review, we're going to take this and try to break it. See if we can break it by, just with our hands or whatever. See how strong it is.
And I want you to note that we are not putting a clamp on this.
Yeah, no, just hand pressure and the activator.
Just as it is.
It is a jointed edge though, so they're flat.
So here we have that piece of cherry that we were talking about, this nice big bark inclusion. And what I'm going to use is the Starbond Brown, which is a medium thickness in this particular bottle. We also have black that we'll be showing here in a minute. Now this does not have to be used with the accelerator, but I mean, honestly, why not? Like that's half the reason to speed up your time, opposed to using something like epoxy where you have to wait for it. Look at that, just instantly cure. So now I've kind of sealed the surface where it was leaking in. I'll come back here and fill the void. And it helps when you actually hit the super glue with the accelerator and not next to it. And there you have it. That's what the brown looks like. Now Brian's been using it in this shop quite a bit, which we've talked about. I'm going to start over here with this little hole. Of course, if you were going to actually use this as a showpiece, you'd probably get some air in there and blow out all the dirt and grime and then it's also great for a crack filler. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to go over to this crack right here. I'm actually going to spray some activator in it first. As you can see, nice and hard. What we'll do is I'll add a little bit in here, and we'll clean it down a little bit so you can see it all nice and cleaned up.
So for this bark inclusion, I'm gonna use the thin formula and sort of spread it along here because this looks pretty porous, and in order to sort of stabilize it quickly, we're going to use the thin formula to soak down into it, and then we'll cover it with a thicker formula to sort of build it up faster. And this thin stuff is super thin, and it just sort of soaks in so fast. So we've got the whole area covered. Let that soak in for a couple seconds. Hit it with the activator. And then we'll come back and fill in some of these deep pockets with the medium formula. And that is ready to go.
So of course these are a little rough, as we were just using it as a test. You know, normally you'd probably already have these planed down and everything, and then just have to come through and clean up your overage. But we're going to just try to get some of this top layer off, just sanding it down to the line. This is just an 80 grit paper. I suppose I could have done this with a chisel. Some water. Look at that black. Isn't that beauty? Nice and smooth too. I could keep cleaning it up, but I think you guys got the idea there. So this one, I'm just gonna take this top layer off with the chisel because I did a pretty good job of coloring outside my lines. As I'm trying to teach my toddler how to color inside the lines. I can use that reference. So there was the bulk of it, and we'll come back in here. Throw some water on there, and there you have it.
So this is the piece of sycamore that we did with the clear. And just to show that it actually is clear, see the wood right through it. So one of the nice things about this CA glue is all this extra stuff it comes with. They come in these little clear boxes, and with each bottle you get 2 of these like applicator lids, you know. So you get the one you're going to use, and then you get an extra one. So here's the extra one, but you also get a bag of these little precision application pipette things that
It'd be tips.
fit over the top of the applicator that you would normally use for more precision work. So if you're using that really thin formula and you've got some cracks you want to fill, you don't want to get it all over the place, this is perfect for that.
Or if you do modeling
Oh, yeah.
in some crafts, that would be good to get into that finite area.
And there's like what? Like 8 of those little tips in here. So you get quite a few of them. And it's also really nice that they send you an extra one of these, because I don't know about you, but this is the first thing to fail on my bottle of CA glue. This thing gets gummed up, and it, you know, you gotta keep cutting it off, but then the hole keeps getting bigger. So it's really nice to have extra lids.
Yeah. Now, like we said, you know, this is normal CA glue, so you don't need the accelerator. But one nice thing about it is that it actually has and comes with an accelerator. So, how much is your time worth, I guess, you know? In my mind, I would definitely get it with the accelerator. I'm actually just taking this time to repair a couple of the old chisel pieces I had that had some issues, let's say.
There you go.
There you go. What else can we glue? Hold out your fingers.
I'd rather not. I've glued my fingers together with this stuff before, and it hurts to pull them apart.
Speaking of, they actually make a debonder.
This was new to me. I
Yeah.
didn't know about this, but specifically for that purpose, if you glue yourself to something, they make a product that releases the glue, and therefore yourself, or project parts.
In the event that you make a mistake and get glue on a part, you can put the debonder on it to clean it up. Now, we don't think it would work as a separator,
Like hide glue.
like hide glue, because it would actually have to get onto the surface for it to deactivate the glue. As I just almost glued my fingers together, because I have super glue on myself. And there you go.
So, what I really like this glue for is it really speeds things up in my shop. So, for instance, if I'm gluing panels together, and I certainly didn't come up with this, I saw somebody else do it, but you can apply your regular PVA glue to it and leave a couple spaces that you would then put the CA glue on, spray the activator on the other part of your panel and put them together for a couple of seconds. And in my experience, you can continue working it after just a couple of seconds of that CA glue drying, and it sort of acts as a clamp as long as you have good joinery, and it holds it together while the PVA glue is drying, and you can continue to work with it. That's probably been the most beneficial use for it in my shop. I would say second to that would be filling voids and stabilizing knots and things like that. You don't have to wait for epoxy to dry anymore. Fill it with CA glue, hit it with that activator, and literally a couple seconds later, you're good to go.
And not only that, but you don't have the smell of epoxy. Unless you're using something all natural, epoxy is just awful. This stuff is minimal at best compared to other CA glues that I've used. In fact, they actually even make another product that is odorless CA. So if you're going to be, in a hypersensitive area or low ventilation, you can actually get the odorless version of this.
And this stuff actually, it doesn't seem very caustic. Like other CA brands, you definitely know that you're using CA glue. This stuff, we've been squirting it all over these pieces without smelling at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Usually, it bothers me. It makes my eyes water and things like that. This stuff doesn't do that to me. I was going to say, when we were talking about the epoxy, this stuff will polish up like epoxy, so you can sand it with finer and finer grits, and it'll become clear. It won't have the scratches in it, things like that. So it's a really good substitute for epoxy when you're doing things like filling cracks and stabilizing knots.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah.
It's good to know. So the other information about this could be that it's been around for a while. This brand isn't really new. It's pretty new to the woodworking scene, and we're not really sure why. Maybe there's been people that have been using it for a while, or maybe they just got a new social media manager in the past year. Not sure, but now they're proud and in front, and rightfully so, because it's a fantastic product. Storage of it is really simple. It can be stored anywhere in any temperature. In fact, they say that the shelf life of this bottle is 30 months if this product is stored under 40 degrees. Not over, under. Which means that up here in the great northern states where it could snow and cold in the winter, you can actually use the CA glue while it's snowing outside without having to warm up your shop to 60 degrees. So that's pretty huge. Like that's
for people in our position,
Yeah.
absolutely. I've used this throughout this past winter, and same story. My shop's pretty cold, and I'll go out there and I'll think, oh man, my glue's gonna be frozen or something like that. No, it flows right out. It bonds just as it would if it were warm. I was shocked when I discovered that.
Yeah. So now you can reduce clamping time in cold temperatures.
Which isn't something you can usually say about glue.
Right. see what they're cool. Yeah. It's a fantastic product. I look forward to using it in my shop. Brian's already been using it in his shop. It's definitely one of those assets that especially if you work with slab wood or anything that comes from rough mill, this is hands down unbeatable.
Should we try to break this joint apart?
I think we should try to break this joint apart.
Do you want to try to break it? Or you want me to try to break it?
Well, why don't you take one side? I'll take the other side.
Well, I don't know if that's fair. Like, we'll probably definitely break it if we both try. So what do you say?
Let's just pull.
20 minutes? It's probably been glued for 20 minutes?
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
20 minutes.
Are we pulling?
Yeah,
Just straight
we're
apart?
just pulling.
Okay. Holy crap.
Okay, be right back.
Hold on, I want to try to break it just like if I were folding it, like a book.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
No, it's not breaking. Oh, he's bringing out the clamps. I thought for sure that we would be able to break this. I've never tried to break it before. I thought for sure we'd be able to break it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I really expected us to be able to break it too.
Oh, hold on. Let me try to break it without clamps. Oh, there it goes.
No clamp.
That was really impressive.
That was quite a bit of force.
Wow. CA glue from Starbond is strong.
Yeah, that was quite a bit of pressure. So
Holy cow. Wow.
yeah. So that was fully set up too.
I really thought we could break it. Like, I thought, putting pressure on it this way would break it.
Yeah. Well, you just had to call on the Hulk.
You banged it on stuff.
You just had to call on the guy that used his head,
Alright, fine.
not his hand.
But that would have probably broken a regular glue joint too. A
Oh,
PVA glue
absolutely,
joint.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was quite a bit of force. So,
It does look.
honestly, this isn't even this is a thin bead of glue across the whole surface too. Like if you were, if we used a different piece of wood so you could actually see the contrast, this isn't it wasn't like we covered it.
Well, bring the camera. I'll show.
I can try.
They saw me put the glue on, and you can see it. So you can see, usually if you're gluing wood together, you're going to cover this whole edge with glue, clamp it together. You can see here that the glue was not spread evenly at all across the whole edge. So, if you were to glue this together the way you normally would, I think it would have been even significantly harder to break.
Yeah, no doubt.
Wow, I really thought we could have broken it with our hands. I thought we could have. Wow, that's impressive. Cool. No wonder it holds up going through my planer after I glue pieces together. So there you have it, guys. This is something that you need to have in your shop. It speeds things up. You can use it as a clamp. Super fast drying.
Comes in colors.
It comes in colors. It's not going to mess with your nose or your eyes, and it takes the place of your epoxy for some situations. So we're going to give some of this away. We're going to give this pack away, not this pack because we've used it, but Starbond is going to send you guys a new pack. So check out the links in the description for the giveaway. Check out Starbond. And get the gluing, man. This stuff is awesome.
Honestly, even if you could wait to win this, but I would say head over to Starbond now and pick some up because the more the merrier. Even if you win it, it's just gonna help. In
It is
the
a
long run.
consumable.
It is,
so.
and it's priced very reasonably. So check it out. They got a lot of great products. See what we got coming. We're going to be using this for sure. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. We'll see ya.
I really thought we were going to be able to break that.
3, 2, 1.
You got to start everything
You
that
see
way
that
now.
dust? That was awesome. Hey everybody, I'm Brandon and this is Brian.
Hey there.
Here we are for another episode of the Workshop Review.
Workshop.
Oh, here we are for another. Hey everybody, I'm Brandon. Wow, rough. I was about to say, hey everybody, I'm Brian. that would have been a little weird.